Okay, the slope of a line is the steepness of a line. So it's the change in y. So remember that y is going up and down. It's the change in going up and down divided by the change in x. So it's also called the change in the rise over run. So what we're going to do when we find the slope is we're going to make what's called a slope triangle. So what you do is you connect, if you have 2 points on this grid, the slope triangle is making a right triangle like this. Now I could either have, I'm going to zoom in a little bit. So I can either have this blue triangle or I could draw a triangle with this red triangle right here. So if the slope is the change in y over the change in x, starting from one point, what you're going to do is, to get to the next point, the change in y is up and down. So how many am I going up or down? So if I start at the bottom, I'm going up 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 units. And I'm going over, so in the x direction, I'm going over 1. So that's 1 unit. So 4 divided by 1 is 4. So the slope is 4. You could also use the red triangle and go down 4. So if you go down 4, that's negative 4. If you go left, it's negative 1, which is still 4. I usually go read from left to right. So I can see this is a positive slope because the line's going up. So the slope is 4. The y-intercept is where does it cross on the y-axis. So on the y-axis, it crosses at right here, which is starting at 0, it's 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4. So the y-intercept is negative 4. Okay, over here, I'm going to make a slope triangle again. So I try to look at, on this grid, I try to find where it intersects. So I would say it intersects right here, the top, right here, right here, right here. So I'm going to draw triangles, shade them in. Could do these red triangles. You could also do these blue ones. You could also do a big green one right here. This is a slope triangle. And I'll show you how it's all going to be the same. So the slope is change in y over change in x. Change in y over x. Change in y, change in x. So what I'm doing is I'm going down 3, so negative 3, and I'm going right 1, so it's right 1. So the slope is negative 3. If I did the green triangle, I would be going up 6, left 2, and it's still negative 3. The y-intercept is where it crosses the y-axis. So if the center is right here at 0, 0, the origin, it's crossing right here. So the y-intercept is 2. You can also calculate slope by using this formula. So if you have a point, if you have 2 points, just as I do here, I'm going to label them. This is my first x. I call that x1. This is my first y. I call that y1. This is my second x. I call that x2. This is my second y. I call that y2. So in the end, what you're going to do is you're going to do y2 minus y1. So using this formula, y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. So 3 minus 6 divided by 4 minus a negative 2. Be careful on that because we're subtracting right here, and it's 4 minus, and this is a negative 2. So 3 minus 6 is negative 3. 4 minus negative 2 is 6. So this reduces to negative 1/2. Always reduce it. And now let's do the next one and label our points. So this is x1, y1, x2, y2. So I'm going to use my formula up here. So -7 minus a -1 over 0 minus 8. So this is going to turn into a plus. So -7 plus 1 is -6. 0 minus 8 is -8. This is going to turn into 3/4. Because a negative divided by negative is a positive. Okay, now we're going to graph these. We like what's called slope-intercept form because the number in front of x is called the slope, and the constant, the number by itself, is the y-intercept. So to graph, you're going to start at the y-intercept and then do the slope. So let me show you. So I'm going to write down right here in this line, the slope is the number in front of x. So the slope is 1/2. And the y-intercept is 3. Alright, so what you're going to do is you're going to start at the y-intercept. So on the y-axis, you're going to make a dot at 3, and your slope is 1/2. So from here, you're going to go up 1 and right 2 and connect the dots. Oop, I didn't connect them very well. Up 1, right 2, or down 1, left 2. Second one, the y-intercept is -1. The slope is -2/3. And the y-intercept is -1. So you start on the y-axis. So on the y-axis you make a dot at -1. And you go down 2, left 3, or up 2, left 3. Connect it. And then the last one, the slope is 2, and the y-intercept, there's not a y-intercept. So the y-intercept is 0. So on the y-axis, you start at 0, and your slope is 2, which is the same thing as 2/1. So you go up 2, right 1, and connect. Up 2, right 1. So if you have a whole number like 5, your slope is going to be 5/1. So you're going to go up 5, right 1.